Um, 7:56 in the morning. How you guys doing? So I was thinking about this story last night. I was thinking about either telling you guys the story, the time I broke into a school that was open, or another drug story. But I've decided to go with the school story because I have two drug stories back to back, and then a fight story. So I mean, fuck it. We just gonna tell the time I broke into a school that was open. So I mean, it kind of is a drug story, but the drug story set it part of it is a separate entity video. But basically, right? Fast forward after we did the drugs, me and my friend, we were high. I don't think I gotta give any background. So me and my friend, we're really high. We're on acid. Oh, I told you it was a recurring acid theme. But we're on acid. We're chilling. We're literally on our old school's fucking, like, what do you call it? Football field, not a playground, a football field. And we're just chilling and we're just minding our business. We're just tripping, honestly. We're not really minding anybody's business. We're just like eagle spread looking at the sky, feeling drugs. And my friend goes, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, "Shit, bro, what do you want to do?" And he was like, "I don't know." Because it's like, I think it was like 12 in the morning, maybe even later. So for some reason, him and my other friend, before you kind of do need background, broke into this same school because it had wine in it. That was the reason we wanted to go. We were already high. We were like, let's get drunker. I mean, let's get more intoxicated. Now, the school we wanted to break into had like a chapel in it, and that's why we wanted to break into it in the first place, because it had a chapel in it. And a chapel, if you don't know, is like a church, like a miniature church, basically. And churches have wine in them, the wine services. So that was our goal for some reason, but that's not what ends up happening. But we'll get to that in a minute. So before we get there, we're like walking around our hometown thinking about what to do, and we find this building. We climb on top of this building and we chill on there. I don't remember what we did on there. I swear we either ate food because we had snacks, or we just sat there talking. We were like, this is where we're gonna come back when we get the wine, all type of shit, right? And it's really far away, but we didn't. That's what we used to do though. We used to skate like mile long distances just to get to places. It was fun though. I ain't even gonna lie. 2019 was one of them years. But we make the bright idea to go do this now, and we're skating towards the place. We finally get there. It's like, I shit you not, a mile or two away. And the goal was to get the wine, put it in my bag, go back to the place, drink it, be drunk, and then I had school the next day. So yeah, that's what we do. So we're down there by this college. I'm not gonna say the name of it because I think this is jail time. But we're down there by this college, and I didn't notice, but after like a month later, I learned it's a female college. We'll get to that later too. That might be a story time for a different time actually. But anyways, we get to the college. There's like a big grass field before you get to the college, and me and my friend like book it. It was like an Assassin's Creed mission. We like run across the grass to avoid being seen by cameras on the road, and then we get up to the building. I shit you not, like an hour of trying to get into it was definitely had. Like we spent a lot of time trying to find a door that was open. We tried the side doors because, like, okay, him and my friend did this before, right? So we tried the same door they tried, locked. We tried doors that we'd never seen before, locked. We tried every possible door because some of them had people by them, like workers just in there doing work, and some of them just were locked. So we were like, damn, it's looking dark. We're not gonna be able to do it. And I was like, wait, come on. He's like, what? I'm like, let's try the front door. He was like, no, that's not gonna work. I was like, oh, trust me, it's gonna work. I jokingly opened the front door, unlocked. No one decided to lock the front door for some bizarre reason. But yeah, they didn't. And oh, I could have told that story time before I told this story time, but before like a couple days or maybe a week before this one, me and my other friend, who is no longer a friend of mine, man, I had horrible friends. Me and him stole these masks and like SD cards, but the SD cards aren't important. The masks are. We stole these masks. I had a red one and I gave him the white one, and it had like a face on it. Like it was like a completely face mask. Couldn't. Oh, my phone. It was like a completely face mask. Like you couldn't see into it, but you could see out of it. So it was like there was no eye holes, there was no mouth hole. It was just like one of those thin masks. But yeah, so I give him a mask, and I wear a mask, and so we can't get detected. We later take them off. But yeah, we walk in there, and first things first, we're like, okay, now what? Because we're on the other, like, because when they walked in, they like were right by the wine, but me and him, we were on the complete opposite side of the school. So now it's like an Assassin's Creed mission throughout the whole building. So we're like ducking and weaving through through hallways, like literally peeking around corners, like there's people there, but it wasn't. It was 1 or so in the morning. I mean, there were people there, but like it was rare to see someone. It was literally an Assassin's Creed mission the whole time. So there was a point where I went down this like long hallway to the gift shop. We'll get to that later, but I went down this long hallway and I saw a student there working on some stuff, and I was like, uh-oh, I think they saw me. So I run back and I was like, dog, we can't go that way. We can't go that way. There's a kid there. And he was like, no, never. So he goes down there and he's like, no, there's not. And I'm like, what? She gets up and leaves because I think we scared her because she heard noises. But now she's gone. We walk down that hallway. We see the gift shop and we're like, oh, we gotta come in here. We try it and it's locked. And we were like, we could probably get in from the back, but you couldn't because it was like a mall store. You can't. There's no back room unless you're already in there. But so now we're like, okay, let's go find the wine chapel. And my friend, since he's done this already, he knows almost exactly where it is. So we go upstairs to avoid being detected by some teachers downstairs. Literally have to use eagle vision to hear where these teachers are coming from. Like, it was so weird. Like, it was, and we were tripping sex. So sound, we're high. Remember that, we're tripping off acid. Sound was like 10 times louder. It was almost like we already had eagle vision. And we get to the little chapel thing. We break into it because it's not even unlocked. I mean, it's not even locked. It's just unlocked for us. And we walk right in and we try to get to the part where they keep the wine and it was locked. And now here comes the interesting part of the story. So my friend, because they did this already, they took the key and he had it at his house, but he didn't think we would ever do this again. I don't know why he had the key at his house, but we're sitting here. We're like, oh, he has the key. What do we do? And we were like, maybe they have another key. And we look for like 30 minutes for another key. And we go, okay, they don't have another key. Maybe we can look up on YouTube how to pick a lock, because we found all the tools necessary to do so. But after another 30 minutes of tutorial watching, we couldn't figure it out. And now it's like 2, maybe 3 in the morning, maybe even 4. Maybe it was 4 because I mean, right after this, we find a hammer in the drawer, and there were 2 doors into the room. There was a glass door with barbed wire in it. So it would have been bad if we really would have broke it. But it was a glass door with barbed wire in it, and it was a door, like a wooden door where you would put the key. That was the one where he had the key too. And it was weird because right in between these 2 doors, there was a third door, a glass door that was locked. It was interesting. But yeah, and the only way to get there was to go down and around the stairs that were on the literally slightly to the right. It was another door you can go out. It was so weirdly set up. It's like they forgot to lock some doors. I mean, they forgot to lock the fucking front door, but we're not gonna talk about all that. Oh, mind you, in this time I was not the most righteous person. I was actually extremely wicked. So we wrote some horrible demonic things in the thing, like in the like church thing where you write confessions. I think it was a Catholic church, so I don't think the Most High would be too upset with me. But anyways, we wrote some demonic things because we were edgy kids. And then after that, we I didn't even know what I was drawing. I think I drew a fake pentagram or something like that. But yeah, we find this hammer, and this was the plan. He was like, okay, break it, and then we're gonna grab the wine and run. I'm gonna look out just to make sure nobody comes. I'm like, dude, if we break this, people are gonna know right away. An alarm might go off. I'm like trying to build up courage to break it for like 10-20 minutes. I finally say, nah, bro, this is just dumb. Let's just do something else. He was like, but what else can we do? Everything is locked. The gift shop's locked. I was like, we're gonna find something, bro. So I also kind of wanted to just explore the school more, and I didn't want to have to get chased by police over some fucking school wine. We would have got caught. I would not be here telling this story. But so I make the bright idea to not break the window, and we leave because we leave that area because we're like, breaking the window is stupid and we're not getting the wine today because yeah. And someone later down the line in life tells me that the wine that they use isn't even real wine. It's just like flavored water. I'm like, oh, so we wouldn't have even got drunk. But so So now we're walking through the halls of this school to college, and we're like, I was 15, maybe even, yeah, I was 15 or 16, probably 15 though. I believe I was 15, but yeah, a lot of these stories come from when I was 15. But so we walking down the halls, and there's this like weird hallway leading to the exit, and I was like, okay, well, let's just leave because we're not coming out with nothing. It's a school. What can you get from a school? And we turn the corner, and down this hall, there's like another hallway that was open, and then there was a bunch of school doors, that were all closed, and I was like, why is that hall open? Let's go see what that is. We look down it, and I shit you not, it looks like somebody got murdered in this hallway. Like there's like a stain that's like brown on the floor. Like, I'm like, is that blood? That dried blood? What is going on? And we look down the hall, and it's like, I shit you not, like the walls are all rotten, the ceiling looks all bad. Like it's almost like this is like an abandoned part of the school. But we walking down it, there's an office with like fucked up chairs and fucked up desks and more fucked up walls, and we're like, what is this? And we keep going down it, and we eventually find this big ass freezer freezer. And my friend was like, oh, it's locked. And I was like, no, it's not. There's no lock on this. I used to work at a place where there's a big ass freezer like this, and I turn it and open it. The face he makes and the face I make, we're like, we just hit the jackpot. We go in there, we rush in there, and there's Starbucks drinks. There's like Doles, those really good lemonades. There's like a bunch of just sodas and Mountain Dew. We're in heaven right now. We're stealing all this stuff because we're horrible kids at the time. And we go into, there's like another section of this freezer. Mind you, if this freezer would have locked from the outside, like inside out, we would have been fucked because neither of us held the door open for each other. We just ran in there, let the door close, and we were just taking stuff. But we we take all types of shit. We take fucking pies, fucking mozzarella sticks, juices, snacks, all types of shit. We're taking all their whole lunchtime supply of shit. And because we're horrible people, we're just messing it up too. We're like spilling stuff on the floor because we just feel like we're privileged enough to break all these things because it's not ours and we can do it for once, right? I mean, who doesn't want to squish a pile of cookie dough in their hand when they see it? I mean, I don't know. It's just satisfying. But we taking everything. We're taking cookies and shit like that, like uncooked cookies. It's like they had a lot of food, I think a lot of it. But after we're done doing that, we leave out my bag full. It's so full it still had to be opened. We leave the school and go back to where we put our skateboards underneath the bridge because we didn't want to bring them in, and that's what we do. We put our skateboards underneath the bridge and we go back to that bridge that we put the skateboards under, and we go under to eat all the food. And we're chilling, we're minding our business, eating and wasting what we don't like for about another hour. And now it's about 5, maybe 6 in the morning. No, it couldn't have been. No, so it had to be like 4 because curfew was still a thing. Curfew ends at 5. If it was 5 when we would have got caught, we wouldn't have been in trouble. But so we done with what we were doing, right? We go out of the bridge and we're like, let's go home now. It's late. I want to go. I wasn't even gonna go home because I had to go back to school in 2 hours. I was gonna walk him home and then just come back to school because I was bored. I was gonna talk and walk with him and then come back to school. But now we're here and the police, right? I see a police officer drive by me on the left side of the road, and I was like, okay, maybe they're just gonna go by. And they literally hit a Yui, and I was like, oh, we're done for. And the guy was like, no, we're not. And I hate this guy nowadays. There's another story time involving him. There's a couple story times involving him, but he had no brain when it came to feds. He was like, no, we're good. We're gonna be okay. But we weren't because we're out after curfew. He's gonna be okay. He's 18. He doesn't have a curfew. But the police officer comes up to us. It's a female officer, thank God. So she was a little nicer. And she goes, what you guys doing today? And we're like, shit, nothing. Just chilling under the bridge. She was like, what are you guys doing under there? I'm like, nothing. Just sitting there. We're bored. Waiting to go to school in like 2 hours. Cause he was still in school. He just didn't really. He was just a bad kid, just like me. But she was like, why are you guys out at 4 or 5 in the morning? I was like, freedom. And she goes, okay. I forget what she says, but she says some stuff about, like, I mean, she asked for ID and all that, and I was like, I'm not even old enough to have one of those, like a state ID. I give her my school one, and she was like, oh, okay, I need to search you. Who are you? And she, to the other guy, and she gets his information and lets him go free. Long story short, it was like another 30 minutes of talking, but she was like, lets him go free. Searches me, finds my jewel, because at the time I was an edgelord. Takes that. And then checks my bag, finds fucking mozzarella sticks, a bunch of Starbucks drinks, and some Doles, and she goes, huh, and lets me keep it. I don't know how she didn't put 2 and 2 together, but she didn't put 2 and 2 together. Now I'm getting a ride home from this police officer who was nice enough to not even give me a ticket. She was like, I could either give you a ticket for the jewel and you could come with me anyways, or we can be compliant and you could just come with me and go home. And I was like, can I keep the jewel? And she was like, no. And I was like, oh, it was one or the other. Either way, I wasn't gonna keep the jewel. So I got my jewel taken, and I was forced to go home. And then when we get to my house, my mom is angry. Obviously, it's 4-5 in the morning, and she was like, hey, we explained to him that he shouldn't be doing this, and she was like, yeah, he knows. He has 5 extra curfew tickets. Mind you, I've never paid those because when you're 18, those go away. Most of your fines when you're a little kid go away because you're not an adult. You don't know any better, supposedly. Even though you do, you don't know any better. But yeah, so she was like, you already have 5 tickets and shit, and it's like $1,000 when you rack it all up. And my mom was really mad at me. She was like, just go to bed. And I was like, okay. So I go to bed expecting to wake up and go to school tomorrow. And no, there was no school tomorrow. So I got what I wanted in the end. But that's basically it. I mean, the most interesting part of the story was getting caught by the police, and the police make it boring once they talk to you for 30 minutes about what you were doing, and you keep replying with, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Like they can't get too much out of you. So yeah, but I don't know. That's the whole story. If you liked, subscribe, turn your post notifications on, like it, dislike it. I don't really care. Share with your friends and tell me your stories down in the comments below. Did you guys ever break into a school or whatever story? Anyways, peace.
Coke in the mirror, I got coke on my nose. I've been getting fucked up, fucking on these hoes. Bitch, you know I'm doubled up, I've been laying low. Snorted off her tummy tuck, switch up to a go. I've been blowing on the loud, I've been up in the clouds where I'm higher than you all. I ain't never coming down, yeah. I've been up in the malls where I'm standing super tall. I ain't never finna fall. Got them Jordans, I'm gon' ball, yeah. Dark energies all around my room. Puffin' on this way, bringing me to my doom. Dark entities all around my tomb. Hoping it's a dream coming to an end soon. Coke in the mirror, I got coke on my nose. I've been getting fucked up, fucking on these hoes. Bitch, you know I'm doubled up, I've been laying low. Snorted off her tummy tuck, switch up to a go. Snorted off her tummy tuck, we know we in the club now. Smoking till the sun come up, I told you I'm not coming down. Drinking in a Bentley truck, I'm hoping we gon' make it out.